Hey, what's up, lightboltjoe here. Today we are going to discuss the 2023 Hulu slash 20th Century Fox remake film, White Men Can't Jump. So Cinco Walls plays the main character. You have Jack Harlow playing the secondary character, whose names I don't remember because this movie was so slow and so unfortunate, and there was no point of it. Now, Cinco, we know in Cinco, I can never pronounce his name. He plays Boyd. He plays Vernon Boyd in Teen Wolf. And bro, when Boyd died, bro, I lost it. Just Derek forcibly having to put the claws in, and it was wild. I always wondered what he was doing after that, and then looking at the credits list and then checking on IMDb, I'm like, no, that's Boyd. So holds a warm place in my heart. I have my Team Wolf tattoos. Um, yeah, and Jack is an incredible artist in regards to music, and so I was very curious how his acting would be. He plays this stereotypical gentrification white guy very well, but but I said this at the end of our review for the 1992 film that it was such an aesthetic and it was glorious and there was no point of them ever doing a remake. And why would they do a remake? It should be a sequel, and it should be a redemption arc of Sydney's son for some basketball purposes. I said that. There is video documentation that I said that, and I admitted that I did not watch this remake, that I was waiting, and I was probably going to say this should have never been a remake, it should have been a sequel. And I stand by that. This should have never been a remake, it should have been a sequel. I also find it hysterical that my hopes and dreams for a sequel film in regards to a redemption arc of Sydney's son, now in his 30s, all these years later in the present day, for the basketball sake of his father, was the main plot of this actual film, which is a remake. That Cinqua's character has a son and wife, and just like in the first, but the characters' names are not the same. That's why it's confusing. I want to say Sydney and Billy Hoyle, but they're not Sydney and Billy Hoyle, so I don't remember their names. And Jeremy is Jack's character because they scream Jeremy a lot. What was Cinqua's character's name? Don't remember. The redemption arc of of Cinqua's character was that he was going to go right to pros in high school, and ESPN was doing stories on him and all these things, and then he got arrested because he was in a fight at a game, and so that the dream died and the opportunity just went along with it, right? And so now we are, all these years later, redemption arc, to try to live up to his name because everybody still recognizes him in this area of Southern California. And so his father's now dying of MS. There's a lot of drama to this. There's crying in a hospital over the dying father. I'm like, bro, what does this have anything to do with the 1992 film? You're remaking a property. You don't have any of the main characters' names. You don't have that whole Getting Onto Jeopardy game show tie-in, which was just absolutely incredible in regards to Gloria's character, Rosie Perez's character in the 92 film. There were so many things that missed the mark on this remake. If this was a film by itself, sure, it's fine. It's more drama than it is comedy. But you have to compare it to the 92 film. And I wish we didn't have to do that, because if I didn't have to compare it to the 92 film, which is glorious compared to this trash fire that I just witnessed, it's so bad. On its own front, it's okay. You have the redemption arc story of the son. You have the goodbyes with the father who's dying of MS in the hospital. You have the what am I going to do for money? How are we going to survive? Should I grow up? Should I deal with the fact that both my ACLs are torn and gone, and Jack Harlow's character of Jeremy. So like, it's a good what happens next film. Some great basketball scenes throughout, but it was disjointed because there was no theme in music. And the music in the first film was absolutely incredible. In the original film was absolutely incredible. They got two soundtracks. They got two different soundtracks in the beginning of 92 and the end of 92. And just that hip-hop and rap motif throughout the entirety of it. The beatboxing aspect, it was a straight hip-hop soundtrack. And it was such an aesthetic. And it was glorious. And it was beautiful. It was wonderful. And then here we have this film, which has modern songs, and Jack raps a song at the end because he's a rapper, so he's going to do that. But there was no theme to this. You had old pop songs thrown in the mix with very older rock songs, and it's just, where's the theme? Where's the thematic element to this? You had certain parks that were filmed at in this film where they were filmed at for the first film, which I thought was really cool. It's a nice tie-in. But if you're doing a remake, why is it not the same plot? It's not the same story. It's not the same story at all. It's just weird. It's very weird. It's unfortunate we have to compare it. But you pitch this as a remake, and so we have to compare it to the original. The original trumps beyond a doubt, without a doubt, this 23 remake. I like the growth of Jeremy's character, of Jack's character, of Jeremy. I like the growth of Cinqua's character. I thought it was a nice epilogue. And I like that we get an epilogue to this film where we get no actual ending to the first film. But again, that was okay that we didn't get an ending. Like, it's fine. And it worked. But this didn't have that aesthetic. 30 years from now, when we watch this film, right? Because I just did a 30 years from now comparison to the 92 film. 30 years from now, when we watch this film, we're going to say, okay, well, that's interesting. That's it. Because it's not reflective of the time. That's my point. When you have music from different decades, from different genres, thrown in the mix as just one large compilation music video, it's not a definitive aesthetic of the time. You had these different hip-hop and R&B and rap songs of the time in the 92 film, and it stays. That is a 92 film. That is an early 1990s film. It works glorious, beautiful, wonderful SoCal aesthetic. Absolutely love it. I will not say that, and I can't say that for this film 30 years later, because there's no aesthetic to this. It's just mush. It's unfortunate mush. The other thing is, the line is not said. White men can't jump is said in the 92 film. White men can't dunk is said in this. And I'm like, what? That's not the title. It's not the title. Also, the funniest part of the entire film was in the trailer, and it wasn't even in the film, where one of the guys is saying, "Oh, I thought you couldn't jump because you're just like a white girl at Whole Foods." Absolutely hysterical. The trailer is absolutely hysterical, and then you watch this, and the line's not there, and you're like, bro, why did I watch this movie? I was watching this movie for this line. It's unfortunate. This is an example of why remakes should not be a thing. Unless the original talent and original creator is a part of it. I will rephrase that statement. I don't think that's what happened at all with this. This was not a remake. It had different characters. It had a different plot. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't approve of it. It's weird. I feel bad for everybody involved with it because everybody did a great job with the material they were given. And I'm so happy to see Cinqua back. But, say lovey. Such is life. Chord, chord, lower, tour. Heart speaks to heart. On to the next review. Mahalo.